That's it. We're here starting it all over again.
Just a theoretical question.
Yeah, talk to me, Dad.
Like as far as like what we learn in school, like our history books, like how old do you think like they really like teach this stuff, like, or
do you want the headphones or not?
Honestly, not really, bro. Makes me fucking nervous.
So I could only speak on experience, and that's the one thing I always do. I only speak on experience, meaning the knowledge that I know and that I've actually seen and witnessed. When I hear this past, right, it's almost like gossip.
Yeah.
It's like his story, like his story, his story. It's not even our story; it's his story.
Yeah.
So to even know what's true or what's not, it's very intriguing because if we're in a society that's governed, what are they telling us and what are they holding from us to keep us in a certain state of being?
It should be always like that.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. So how much really are we getting?
Yeah,
How
like
much
yeah.
are we really getting?
Or how much of it is really like that important? Like,
Yo, I feel like I'm in the studio.
Exactly.
I am in the studio.
you really are.
Let me begin.
Yeah. So all you just want to talk to the mic.
You gonna start rapping, bro?
Right? Let me begin.
Oh yeah.
Moses with his staff hit the rock a zen.
Yeah.
Water started flowing, it all begins. For what you think is what you create.
Yeah.
Make sure it's love, never hate. Divine consciousness is the state.
Yeah.
Palms up words, close your eyes. Focus on third and thou shall rise. Move forward, all in love, all in faith. Peace to the gods, for God is great. Kicking with James, my dudes, and victorious. And it ain't even late. And I'm telling you right now, we about to hit that state.
Yeah.
Ain't no competition because we about to win. I'll tell you right now, I'm just chilling with a grin. You should have saw my reflex when other things just dropped. But I told you, son, I'm aware I'm hip-hop.
Yeah. That was fire, actually.
Yo.
You hit that, bro.
It's the warm-up.
Nah, that shit was crazy, bro. He was like,
He caught his cat.
Oh, God, like, we dripping in the car. Look how clean the carpet is. We got, look at it spilled, but it wasn't that much,
bro.
yo. It was
And
bad. Look at that drink
he
spill.
had soda in his fucking water too.
That tipped over the
All
Yeah.
of this whole thing fell, guys.
No.
So I had a cat backpack. Like, I was like, all right. I didn't want the equipment to fuck up, so I was like, so what do we do?
You had to choose.
Yo, that was wild.
Oh
Yeah,
What
yeah.
a way to start. Yo. Yeah, I like the headphones, guys.
Yeah, you fuck with it.
I don't like to wear them because it just I get really nervous. Like I don't like to hear myself, man. It's too much.
What about one on and one off?
I mean, if I don't know.
I don't believe you though, because you hear yourself all day.
You're right. I mean, I'm hearing myself right
You
now.
probably need to start hearing yourself more often.
Probably, honestly.
I'm telling you, that dude that I know, yeah, he's a good dude. Pay attention to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, word.
appreciate it,
word.
man.
Oh, yeah, no, without a doubt.
So how you feeling, Eddie?
Yo, I'm feeling lovely. Do we already start this for sure?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
we
let's
started.
do it. We
started
here.
with a freestyle. That was dope.
That was dope. The intro right to it.
Yo, yeah, I'm feeling dope. God. And I was thinking about. We're gonna have to speak it like this because that just came into my mentals right now. I was looking at the word dope, D-O-P-E, right? And right now we all feeling good. My dude even over here in the back gave me mad love. Victor, man.
Shout
That's
out Victor.
victory. Yo, straight up with my
Off
dude,
camera,
man. Love. But yeah, we all came in and just feeling the serotonin and the dopamine just coming on out and just giving us this positive vibe. And that's what dope comes from. D-O-P-E, divine, omnipresent enlightenment. How do we just keep that dope energy all day? Like this.
So how do we do that? What is the key?
Sticking with our nature, yo, happiness is a discipline. There's a discipline to be happy. So you need to start practicing gratitude. Our muscle, when you're working out, right? You're working out, you're building them biceps, you're building them chest, you're hitting them push-ups and them curls. Okay, so you build, you strengthen. Well, you have that type of energy in your brains, the neurons. So these neurons strengthen based on what you're thinking. So if you're always worried, now you're strengthening your worry. If you're happy and you practice gratitude, you actually start strengthening your gratitude. So it's intentional happiness. Literally, the way I start my morning just to function is I wake up at 4:30. I gotta say 4:30 because, you know, wifey's gonna be looking at me on this podcast and be like, you ain't waking up at no 3:30 anymore, so don't be giving that. But I was waking up at 3:30 for a long time. I'm getting a little bit more relaxed, so I'm waking up at 4:30. I wake up at 4:30, and first thing I do is I rub my hands. I put them on my eyes. Let the nervous central system just connect. And I say, thank you. Thank you. First thought, thank you. Here we go. How many people would really do that? Most of the time, whatever you communicate to yourself is what your body's going to respond to. So most people that I speak to, they say when they first wake up and they hear that alarm, they don't got to say it out loud, but they say, I'm tired.
Man.
How often does that happen, right? I'm tired.
I felt like that this morning.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people are going to relate to that. You don't got to say it out loud, but you already communicated to your body, I'm tired, so now your body's going to react tired. So now you're going to have a tiresome day. It already started. Or say the first thing you do is you wake up and you check your phone. Boss is messaging. Oh, you got to be here. So now you're not even laying down in bed. You're not laying down in bed. Where's your mind at? You're already at work.
Mentally.
No. State of mind. What you think is what you create. So if you're already thinking work, you're there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We use this imagination, this image of nation. It's a nation image. And we present it. We manifest it into this reality. So the first thing you want to do is actually treat yourself and say, thank you. Yo, thank you. Thank that divine energy of whatever belief you have. Whether you want to call your creator love, God, randomness, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I always speak to anyone who's even atheist. And they let me know, you know, we just feel everything was a big bang or it happened random. Then I'm like, okay, then I'll praise random. Be grateful that random got you to where you're at right now. Be thankful. But there's definitely an original energy. And it's something that no matter what your thought process is, as of yet now, but I'm going to say that. It's just not our nature. No matter what, there's an energy that all of us strive for, that we thrive to be. It's healthy, loving, aware, and wealthy. That's what everybody thrives to be. That's how you want to wake up. You want to be healthy, feeling good. You want to be loved, give love. You want to be aware. You want to be alert. You want to be able to catch a table, club soda, some ashwagandha, and the whole thing before the mess occurs. You want to be on point. You want to be hip. So that's the energy you want, because that's the energy we are. You want to be the energy. Think about that. You want to be the energy you are. You never want to be the energy you're not, because now you're not balanced.
Right.
So nobody ever wakes up and says, I just can't wait to be depressed today. Oh, it's a perfect day to be depressed. Oh, yo, it's such a perfect day just to be pissed off all day. And my stomach hurts. Ugh, I'm getting heartburn because I'm so angry. Oh, I'm so excited to be angry. Nah, nobody does that.
Right.
Everybody wants to be that love. So that's where we came from. That's our original state of consciousness. And that right there proves to us that spirit.
So what causes us to fall into that pattern?
Yo, God. And I call you God because you're the child of God. Unfortunately, and here's the challenge. Society starts with parenting. I'm a parent. You are born this divine being. Think about this, a divine being that, now we talking philosophical because people are going to be like, oh, no, it's the science. No, we're talking some philosophy. What is philosophy? Philo, love, Sophie, wisdom, the love of wisdom. A baby is born. The baby does not walk because it chooses not to. The baby doesn't cook because it chooses not to. The baby just decides to poop and pee wherever it feels like it because it already knows everything's going to be taken care of. Talk about a phase. So you were born divine, and then you're taught outside of it. When we were 3 years old, you didn't really care. I didn't really care how your hair looked or how my hair looked or what clothes we were wearing or where we were living. We just wanted to play. As a matter of fact, the one kid that had most of the toys wanted to share them so we could all hang out. That's our divine state. But what takes us out of that is the original gods that you see, which is your parents, which is the elders. And just as something as simple as, stop singing, you're giving me a headache. Stop being loud like that. Tired, your voice is ugly. Little 4-year-old. You love to sing, now all of a sudden you ain't gonna sing ever again. Stop drawing everywhere. Now all of a sudden your art skills go. You lose your unlimited divinity by getting taught limitation. My 2 younger kids, I have a 9-year-old son, Solomon, and a 7-year-old, Elisa. Have 6 kids total. I should probably say their name. You know, so, but no, we talk about my 2 little ones first. Because my older ones, they got a piece of this, but you continue to mature as your awareness, and you want to start bringing back that divine nature. So with these 2 younger ones, I was at a step of a more aware consciousness. And my whole goal was to teach them nothing at all. This was, whoa, wait a minute, I'm not going to teach them anything? No, it came to me in prayer and meditation not to teach them anything. So me and my wife agreed. Marley, she's a beautiful being. She just like, yeah, you're right. And then we got a beautiful confirmation. I started watching this dude, Sadhguru, who has a temple in Tennessee. He's well known in India. And he said the same thing. And I'm like, okay, we're going to try this. I got the confirmation spiritually. I just saw it physically. So I tried to teach them nothing at all. And I was watching them. I homeschool. So I get to see them quite a bit. You know, blessed with my people that allow me to do what I love. And one day they were fighting over a toy. So we're talking about divine nature. So it's like, well, why are they fighting? If they're divine nature, why are they fighting over a toy? I'm like, where did they learn this from? You'll hear a lot of people, oh, that's just human nature. That's just genetic. I just didn't believe that. So I'm paying attention to them. And one day it came to me. They grabbed something that could potentially harm them. And Marley, my beautiful wife, tells them, don't grab that. That's Dad's. Right there. That quick. Now they learn property. That fast. They pick up that quick. So now they're like, oh, mine. What's mine?
Yeah.
Damn.
Now they learn to,
Think about,
selfish.
Yeah, what's for me?
Wow. Even time. We talk about, well, I got to say this out loud. We spoke before this. I got to give a little bit, to the peeps. But we're talking about time. There is no such thing as time. We made it up. This is quantum physics. This is metaphysics. Time was created by us to make sense of everything. With my son Solomon, all he had learned through language was yesterday. He was probably about 4 years old. And he tells me, hey, Dad, remember we just did this yesterday? I'm like, what are you talking about? He keeps giving me his story. We went to the mountains and we climbed there and we looked for this mountain in the Franklins that looked like an elephant. And I was like, son, that was last year. And he was like, well, what's a year? And I was like, wow. Imagine we would have never learned time. Imagine, just visualize that. How would we actually age? Would we actually age the same? These are the questions.
Yeah, if we didn't comprehend time the same.
These are the questions. Because what you think is literally what you create. It's called a placebo effect.
Yeah.
That's the scientific vocabulary of faith. That's the name for faith in science, placebo effect. I'm a personal trainer. It's one thing that I do. My clients trust me. They trust me to a point based on their results, based on the energy that they receive. James used to train with me. He knows. And if I tell them these pills are going to burn fat and they believe in me 100% and they're sugar pills, they're going to burn fat. There's scientific studies on this. What people believe will happen if they fully believe it. They call it placebo. That's faith. So with that said, it's highly possible because we run on this time that we expect to look a certain way in our 30s, in our 40s. We're expecting our joints, our athleticism to start lowering down because that's what's in the collective. That's what's been agreed upon. So you go with the agreement.
And why do you feel like as a society we created time or that construct of time? How does it benefit us?
This is a beautiful part about life, right? This physical, this polarity of everything. It benefits us most definitely as far as the laws of nature go. When to harvest, when to plant, when to do specific things. You know, it's very interesting how this energy of this reality works. You know, in the summer you don't wanna water the grass at 2 PM. It'll burn. So we had to recognize this time concept and put an understanding to it to work with this physical world. I have a teacher, a Navajo elder, and I call him an elder because he is my elder. And he's a wonderful being, Alex Mares. And when I met him years ago, he said, we're not physical beings trying to figure out spirituality. That's the lie. That's the delusion. We're spiritual beings trying to figure out this physical. You know, I came in with this thought today and I was like, yo, we're balling. We are balling. Y'all are ballers. Yo, it's a beautiful, beautiful environment to be with ballers right now. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw my whip, yo. I don't know if you saw what I'm driving. Have you seen it? Look at that. That's this nice tan on it. It's quick, but it's productive. It doesn't need much. It doesn't need much energy to be instilled for it to work. Because I've seen some whips out there. I've seen some bodies out there that need 5-6 meals a day. I'm one and I'm good. So, yeah, I'm energy sufficient. You know, this body's energy for sufficient. It's aware. It has wonderful sight. You know, the engine, you're hearing it. Yo, that engine is clean. You know what I mean? Balling.
So, like, to touch on that, like, what do you think is the most, like, ideal diet? I mean, and tell us a little bit about your diet. Like, what are you currently following?
I appreciate that. Appreciate that right there. There you go. Yo, the most important diet. I'm going to speak it right now, and it's something that everybody needs to follow. I'm going to tell you what to digest and what to definitely stay away from. And this is very important. You want to digest a lot of laughter. You want to digest peace. You want to digest compassion, kindness, joy. You want to digest awareness. What you want to stay away from? Oh, let me clarify. I got to add some more foods. You want to digest confidence. Confidence is a huge one. You want to digest plenty of character. You want to digest the idea of the person that you trust the most and the person you look up to the most and be that person. You want to digest that energy to actually become that person. That'll put your body in an alkaline state. It'll be very receptive. It'll turn on what is called your parasympathetic nervous central system, which lets all the organs in the body organize the nutrients where they need to go. Reduce acid and upgrade your body to an alkaline state where disease cannot live in because you're in ease. Now, the foods that I would tell people to stay away from is worry. Oh, that worry? Yeah. It'll put some junk on the belly. It'll give some heartburn for sure. Anger. You eat too much of that. You digest too much of that anger. You're going to have liver issues. You're going to have kidney issues. The English language is a very interesting language. It's a spelling language. I talked to someone that... Now, I want to be careful that I'm saying this right, but I'm going with what she said. But I believe she said, it was a while ago, she had a PhD in grammar. I think she had a doctorate in English. And she told me that the English language is a bastard language. We made it up later on. So it's actually a language that has no background other than we making it up. And this is why it's a very strong language, because you're spelling. You're spelling it out. You're creating spells. So when you read these definitions, especially if you go into the Oxford English Dictionary, I'm talking about the OG. You're going to spend some money trying to get a hold of one of those. We're talking about some G's right there. But the beautiful thing about Google, right? All this technology, you could actually look up these words and find it. But remember, it's the old Oxford. That's the OG, old Oxford English Dictionary. Start seeing what these words mean. So I looked up kidney. And kidney, yes, one of the definitions, it's an organ that filters the body. And another definition is character.
Kidney.
Character.
No.
Yeah. So if your character isn't up to par to your natural self, you're going to have problems filtering life. So that's the most important diet I could give anybody. And it'll make you also the most attractive person you could possibly be. And I was driving over here. And I was thinking, I was like, wow. I've been seeing so many things going on, you know. Y'all made me realize this last night after you left. You said you went to the gym, right? Build some muscle. Yeah, good. You know, work out some toxins. Wonderful. But a lot of people now, and even back then, we want to build a certain way to be acceptable and attractive to everybody. You're even willing to take steroids and plastic surgery. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing dudes getting ab implants. I'm seeing women getting, lip implants, breast implants, just trying to fit in. But yet everybody wants to be an individual. Nah, I'm different than everybody. But then the society's marketing's telling you, you got to look like this. You got to look like this to be acceptable, and everybody's trying it. But everybody wants to be unique. But everybody's doing whatever it takes, even things that are harming their body. They're getting sick just trying to be beautiful. I started realizing, just imagine, let's just all put our minds together and visualize. Imagine if they marketed kind as being sexy. They marketed compassion as being hot. We'd have world peace. No, that's real.
Because everybody would be exercising it.
Everybody would be exercising it. And here we are really thinking that this is what's beautiful. But, you know, I've lived decades where I've seen beauty change. I remember seeing movies in the 80s. Look them up. Top Gun, Rocky. You know, the main girls. Yeah, the boobs were a little bit more in. They had no booty, yo. They had no booty. Booty, you know, boobs were in. They had no lips.
Yeah.
That was it. And then the early 90s came. The model era. Tall girls. Stick figures. You know, smooth face. But super skinny. I started seeing this. And then the mid-90s, now the big booty came in. Everybody want a big booty. I like big butts and I like, so it makes a lot of changing of some things right there. And then the early 2000s came in, and all of a sudden muscle was in. You know? And that's just what it was. All of a sudden you see all these women like, oh, you know, I want to be buff. And then now we're in the era of plastic surgery. So if people really think they know what beautiful is, they don't. It's whatever's marketed to them.
It's whatever they say is beautiful.
It's whatever, whatever they say is beautiful.
And who's they?
Right, exactly. Society. It's marketed. It's whatever's in the news, whatever's on your, whatever's coming in. Whatever catches, right? That's where it's at. But character is the true beauty. Is the revolution will never be televised. And that's real. And my proof of this is going to be spoken right now. They never said Buddha was a good-looking dude. Never talks about Jesus being a good-looking dude. But yet religions were created of just these two men. People who have character are beautiful. And pay attention to something. Keep it real. When you meet somebody with true divine character, they're never unattractive. It's wild. They might not be like by far like, oh man, man, they're smoking or whatever. But when then you meet them, you're like, man, I just want to be around that person.
Very true.
It's real.
So what would you say to somebody like, so I asked you the question earlier about like what your diet should be, and you said digest, you know, happiness, laughter, and what to avoid. So to somebody that's like maybe going through things where they're dealing with a lot of anger or very emotional in a negative way, like what's your like, what would you tell somebody like as an approach to how to change that around and how to
I love that.
digest the right things?
That's what we got to be talking about, right? Because we're hearing all this thing about character. Well, I'm like, okay, so how do we get there? It's first, again, it's like I told you, start practicing. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning.
Why 4:30? Just curious about that.
4:30, and I'll tell you how this all happened. It became natural. Y'all remember when you were kids? Right? We talking about 6, 7 years old. How early did you wake up?
Early as hell.
Yeah. Why? Why were you waking up early?
You were excited.
Exactly.
That's very true.
Most of us want to sleep a lot because we're not excited about life anymore.
Damn.
Let's keep it real. Every time you're excited about something, you're going to wake up. You can't even sleep.
Yo, that's what I was going to say. You can't sleep.
You're so like, oh, I get away. Like, yeah.
You know? sleep 5 hours and you're ready to
go.
Oh,
God.
Bro. Like,
come on. You already know. Yeah. The party's about to start. Who wants to sleep at the party? Nobody wants to sleep at the party. You're like, yo, let's get it. Just get up in this mug and get down. So... So that's why I wake up early, because I'm excited for life. I hear people always say, oh, you know, I'm kind of scared to die. And I'm like, well, you sleep so much. You practice for it quite a bit. It looks like you're gonna be okay being dead. It looks like you're mainly dead through the whole entire 24 hours. So stop tripping. But again, how did I get this way? I wasn't this way. This is not this, or I was when I was born, but I was just like everybody else who was programmed to be less of self. So how did I get there? Again, changing my mind. I started doing practices. Practices of, first thing I do is say, thank you. Second thing I do is I do breath work. I've studied with several amazing people on breath work. My current coach right now is Wim Hof. Look him up, y'all. Yo, peace to the God, Wim. And it's a very intense breath work that just alchemizes your body. So I get my breath work in and it gives me this wonderful energy. It gives me this uplift. And then on my last breaths, as I'm holding my breath, I just do a bunch of push-ups, get all the blood flowing. And by that time, it's probably about 5 a.m. Now I'm feeling up. I sit down. I do a prayer. Thankful for everything. I'm thankful for y'all. I get my prayer, and however you want to pray. I'm not here to talk religion. I'm here whatever anybody believes or whatever you want to do. Just be thankful. Be thankful. If all it is you just want to think thankful thoughts, go for it. Try it. It works. Be thankful. So I do that, and then I stay quiet. After my prayer, I just stay quiet. They call it meditation. Stay quiet. And if a thought comes in, I bless the thought. A late bill tries to come in. Oh, I might have forgot to pay this bill. Thank you for Creator for it being paid.
Is that your way of like removing the thought? Is that how like you make it go away, or like what's the ultimate goal?
It's not to make it go away. What it does is it blesses everything that you're doing. The whole thing is to not stop thinking. It's nice to stop thinking, but we've been doing it for so long. But if it's gonna be a thought, might as well be a good one.
I'm grateful for it.
And be grateful for it. Let's manifest, because everything is created in thought. We're talking religion, so I gotta go Bible now. Oh, I gotta go Bible. Here we go. So, Book of Genesis says, and God said, let there be light. So where was God? If God said, let there be light, where was God? In the dark. That's the only place God could have been. If God said, let there be light, that means there was no light.
Right.
God was in the dark. Okay, so we're the children of God. We're the children of guide of direction. So if God creates everything in the dark, where do we create everything? In the dark. Podcast. Y'all created it in the dark, brought it into the light. So everything's created in the dark. Everything's created in the mind. May I now direct. M-I-N-D. May I now direct. Peace to G Simone for that one. That was hers. But yeah. So with that said, thinking is good. But you want to be a creator, not a destroyer. It's like we were talking about yesterday, and I want to just put that in a little bit. Someone who worries always worries. That's the reality. It's wild. That's the reality. Somebody who practices worrying will always worry. You can give them a paid vacation, make sure that their job doesn't trip, give them funds for the vacation, get them the hotel, everything. They're good. Guaranteed they're going to still have something to worry about, because that's what they do.
This pina colada sucks.
Come on, guys. Yeah. The water's too salty. Yeah. The ocean water's too salty. Like, yo. Linguistics. We got to talk about this word complain. So I looked up the word complain. C-O-M, is a prefix. And one of the definitions is excessive force. Intense force. It also means contagious. It also means disease, illness. So calm as a prefix, contagious, disease, excessive force. The word plain is a noun for unattractive, someone's plain, boring. A state of being. So you put the word together, it's an excessive, contagious illness that's unattractive in a state of being. You're around someone who complains a lot, what happens? You get sick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you're going to get a flu, but you're going to feel sick.
Yeah.
You're just like, yo. And then it also gets contagious in the sense that you start complaining. Nah, you're right, man. You're right, yo. You know, like what happened right here. Right? Everything fell. We could have been like, oh, man. The next thing you know, we would have not had this going on, this wonderful conversation. Everything got jacked up. But we're just like, yo, that was dope. See how we caught this?
Yeah.
We changed the environment. We brought it back up.
You know what?
Nah, dude, you had me feeling like I missed out. Like I was like, damn,
You
I wish
did
I
miss out,
seen that,
though,
bro.
man.
Like that looked like a vibe, yo. Like
You missed
y'all
out.
made it seem like it was lit, man.
Don't get me wrong. I was trying. It took for everything for me to not be like frustrated about it, but I was just like, you know what, like, fuck it, bro. Shit's happened before.
Dope. Yo, it was dope. But then the story that I got from him, the story, he's like, the first podcast, this happened. And now it happened again. Well, congratulations to the rebirth. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the purpose that I'm here. I want people to hear this so they can stop being depressed. So their body can stop hurting. So they can actually have a good day. What's in it for me? That I get to share the wealth. You know what I'm saying? I would like to be around a street that everybody's cool. Hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Instead of, going through all the drama.
So can you talk about a time when you were depressed?
Oh, God. Yo.
Yeah, let's hear that, Eddie.
Let's go into it.
Let's hear the testaments, man.
Word. I'll tell you one. Man.
Could you say you grew up it was a tough childhood for you?
It was a beautiful childhood, but it was tough. It's product of environment is what it is. There was a lot of violence. I witnessed a lot of things that.
And sorry, just for reference, you're from El Paso,
I'm
Texas.
from El Paso. I'm from here. I'm from the path. Yes, and there's a lot of people that, go through it out here, and a lot of people that don't share this story, which I wish they would, in a sense. But a lot of times also you just don't want to disrespect the elders. Because remember, you're just a child. So it is kind of hard. It's kind of like, well, how far do I want to go into this? But no, I witnessed a lot of activity that was harmful, that put fear in my heart. I'm a loving being, and I think we all are. But because of that physical violence, because of that uncertainty that everything was going to be okay, because of that fear of walking home from kindergarten, where you're just like, man, I got to go home. What's going to happen? You build up this certain persona. And if you see my pictures like on Facebook and from Instagram from back in the day, I trained 10 years. Well, yeah. Well, let's say about 10, Ronnie, you're right. Yeah, I'm going to say about 10 years with Ronnie here and there. It's been beautiful. I just got to blessing to train with him a couple of years ago again. Ronnie Coleman, just another person, 8-time Mr. O, bodybuilding greatest ever, that was amazing to be my friend and be my teacher, and I'm very grateful for him. But with it said, the reason I ended up getting that muscle, and the only sports I played was boxing and wrestling, I realized it's because I was scared. Wanted to protect myself. And again, right, one who complains always complains. So here I am wanting to protect myself. So what was I always attracting? You're thinking you're living in a world of violence, so there it is. It's going to come to you. But as interesting as that wasn't really the depressed part, Maybe I was, and you just don't even have a term for it. But it was challenging for real. I truly feel I could tell you a depression hit me is when I had a lot of money in the bank account. when I owned 2 gyms, 2 supplement centers.
So how'd you get to that point? You were bodybuilding and you were competing?
I actually was personal training first.
Oh, okay.
Surprisingly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had already been training with Ronnie and everything.
I was training with Ronnie. Maybe it was Ronnie that got me into bodybuilding.
Wait,
how'd you meet
how'd you
Ronnie?
meet
No,
Ronnie?
we're going to be jumping everywhere.
Yeah,
Okay,
dude,
I'll
okay.
give you this
Let's get to
story.
that real quick.
I'll give you this story. So when I had my son Ed, man, peace to my, see now I'm getting my other kids in there too. So Edward, he likes to be called Edward. You see, I'm Eddie, he's Edward, he's the mature one. So me and his mom were together. All love to her as well. Beautiful being. And when I got her pregnant, I was 20 years old. I
Oh, wow.
Say 20.
Young.
Young. She was 19. Yeah. And I wanted to change my life. I didn't want to do illegal activities to raise them. And I wanted to get out of the homestead to feel refreshed, free, get out of that energy, you know what I mean, of what I grew up in. So it was a challenge. I remember I had this job, and this is how old school it was. I had this job being a tech for cordless phones. This was back in the day when the cell phone was really barely coming up. And what I'm talking about, where it was a little bit more affordable for everybody. It looked like a big old brick that you could throw at somebody and it still worked. Yeah, one of those. So I would work this job, and I realized, oh, this is the grown-up life. Like, I can't call in sick because now I can't pay bills. And the job sucked, dude. It sucked. And I was like, yo, man, for real, what is this? So I was like, well, what do I want to do? You know, like, you know, how do I get it? First of all, income to even provide for school. How am I supposed to get into this? And one day, I get to my apartment, and I see this show, and it's this dude talking about, you know, it's like a game show, and he was talking about how he gets home and he massages his wife's feet, you know, and his wife's like, yeah, he always gets home from work and massages my feet. You know, I'm 20 years old, already exhausted with life, you know. How does this dude come home? It's the last thing dude, like, you know, I'm burnt out from this. So I had seen that. But at the same time, too, I was always working out. Remember, I always wanted to protect myself. So I was always in great shape. It's something I always was. It was like, I'm pushing. Especially when I was a little kid. We lived in a neighborhood that I just really think that people were underfed. Because I look at my pictures now, and everybody's like, oh, you're a chunky kid. So I also, too, wanted to make sure I was slim. But now I look at those pictures, I'm like, no, I was just healthy. Anyway, you know, so with it said, I used to sneak into the community college in Horizon, and I got caught. And the dude that caught me, much love to my mans, he was like, yo, G, I know you're not a student here, but can you get me to look like you? And I go, well, I could show you how I do it. Yeah. So I started training him. Then I started training other people in there. I'm not getting paid. You know, I had heard about this personal training thing, but I didn't even know I was doing it.
You just think you're just
I'm just helping people out.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, now I got a group of people just wanting to work out. You know, it's so long ago, it don't matter. So I'm gonna have to call him out on this. He even gave me a key. I used to go like at 3-4 in the morning. Yeah. Janitors were like, what are you doing here? I go, I run the gym. I got a key. Here we go.
Like, look, I got the keys. It's all you.
That's all you need to know. I'm the man of the gym. Yeah. So eventually somebody paid me. And I'm like, I don't want your money, dude. Like, you don't got to pay me. He's like, no, I am going to pay you. He goes, I want you to change your life. You're good at this. This is who you're supposed to be. He's you know, there's courses that you could take. And I was like, really? For work people out? So, and then I remembered personal trainer, feet massage. I'm like, okay, let me get into this. And yeah, so I went to UTEP, Rose Register, beautiful being. I took her courses, got her certification. I got certified through UTEP. And that's how it all started, from right there. I guess we got time, so I'll speak a little bit more. I was hitting up all these gyms. Personal training was not popular. And places weren't hiring me. So I went to EP Fitness with this confidence. And I told the manager, you guys already hired me, so I'm here to start. The guy was like, his name was Danny, or his name is Danny. And Danny was like, we hired you? Well, where'd you go? I go, I went to corporate, and they said I'm supposed to start here. And he was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we'll get you a uniform. So that's how I literally got hired. Dude. I'm like, here's my certification from UTEP. I got hired to be here.
You know what? Sorry to interrupt, but I actually do believe like that divine energy is like so real, because not only have I like kind of experienced like things to where like I just like there's just something about like believing it, like how you said, and manifesting it, and when it happens, like it just always works out. Like Arturo, one of our other boys, kind of said the same thing, that he had kind of just made like he basically put some things on a resume that kind of weren't untrue, but he basically already believed he had the role and played the role. Like he played the role like he already had it and made it.
Dude, so many success stories or like successful people I've seen, bro. They do the. It's like they become the person that they're banking not on the fact that like they're already that person. They're just like they're just doing whatever it takes to get their foot in the door, and like they're making their own. It's not even luck, bro. It's just like being at the right place, but you're just like. I don't know. That's an amazing story, though, because I recognize that in a lot of people.
It's even the state of mind of what is success. I've seen so much success just today. You called me. James called me up. Or I called him up. Let me clarify that. I called him up. And he's like, I'll meet you there, G. Do you want me to pick you up? Or do you want me to meet you there? I go, meet me here. So what did he do? That means he envisioned from Sunland that he was going to make it over here. That's being a psychic. You said, I will be over here, and therefore you were. You see, these are psychic abilities. But we don't call them that, and therefore we don't open that psychic power. So, psychically, he knew he was going to be here, and therefore he was. Success story.
It's just much more short term, you know?
Yeah, but it's a success story. The thing is, we need to start ignoring. You see, if you
like we need to give it that success. Like,
so if you say like, all right, I'm gonna be at this point, at a certain point. It may just take a while, but you're envisioning it, and it's gonna happen at some point. You just
right, yeah, and you're there. You see, this is the whole thing. You have to applaud yourself. You have to applaud your protection, everything on everything you do. Start recognizing how often you succeed throughout a day, because it's a state of mind. Yeah. There's people that can't do that. As a matter of fact, you know, before you even drove, there's a kid right now that can't drive from Sunland over here. He's too scared. Oh, how do I put the blinker? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? There's another dude that used to drive and now his eyesight's off. You see what I'm saying? So we gotta really appreciate our success stories throughout the day to continue to succeed. This is an exercise that will strengthen everyone's God up. Straight up. God is God. You know, all the ladies, all the men. Start visualizing and recognizing your success. We had a challenge. Stuff fell everywhere. But you still envisioned the podcast, and here we are. Huh? Success story. Success story. Straight up. We're doing it. We're right here, right now. Change the battery. Success story. So if we start actually acknowledging each success and being grateful for it, guess what happens? More success. Once you get used to success, you'll always be successful. But you have to recognize success. Most of us ain't even paying attention. You ain't even hip to the success. You're just like, oh, just, you know, you're being. Yeah. That's where being too modest is not good. And that's real. You gotta really see your success. It's like you said it, faking it. No, nobody faked it.
Yeah, it's like it was always us.
It was always us. Yeah. We always were. That's real. That's real. Yeah. I wasn't lying when I told them they hired me, because they did. Mm-hmm. I just knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you start at EP.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah, no, so I started at EP, and the manager told me, "All right, Eddie."
This one I'm out with right here?
Nah, God, this one he wasn't even here yet. Yeah, this was on Lee Trevino.
Okay.
It used to be a Gold's gym. It was just fresh off Gold's EP. This dude Danny tells me, "All right, Eddie, you gotta make us at least $100 a month, or else you ain't gonna make it." He goes, "But you see this top trainer? He makes 600. I got a seed. I'm the only one working at the crib, you know, baby's mom going to school at the time, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta help pay for that. You know, she was getting her loans and everything. Thank God for all that. But I'm still having to put funds that way for her to succeed. Gas, all of that, bills. So it's all on me. A child. And the dude that makes the most money, he only makes $600? I was like, what did I just get myself into?
Right.
I just have to I just have to make $100 to keep my job?
Yeah.
Like what? I was like, yo, like what?
Where all the money at? You're like,
what's going on? You know? I had read that personal trainers could make up to, at that point in time, $35K, because it wasn't really popular, but $35K, I was called, yo, $35K, yeah, it's a lot more than I'm making at that point right there. And I was like, I could do that. But now you're talking about $600 a month. Ugh. Here we go. So again, I had to keep faith. I'm like, nah, man, I got to change this. There has to be a possibility. So I remember it took me forever to get 2 clients. And I mean forever because time's ticking. I have no job. And from those 2, and here's one thing that I like, I got to express right now that just came in. The strongest person in the kingdom, the strongest person, right? Because you have the kings, you have the queens, the knights, everything. The strongest person in the kingdom is the servant. Because everybody depends on the servant. To the point that if the service is always on point, the servant will become queen. The servant will become king. If you can serve humanity, you will always thrive. Those who feed others never starve. It keeps coming. So my purpose was to get people in shape and feel better about themselves. Then I was going to give it all I got. And because of that, the just continuous attention on them and care, by that year, I was making more than the general manager.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was love, and it was just service.
And that was your first year in the business?
First year in the business. And it was my last year working for anybody else.
Damn.
Yeah, word. And it was not because I wanted to leave. Corporations get a little challenging, and I started teaching all the other trainers my methods. Everybody starts coming up. Corporations being corporations. And I'm not even mad at them. Business is business. They wanted to lower our pay so we could work harder.
Yeah, take more of the cut.
Right, take more of the cut because they thought it was fair. But not only that, they had this plan that if you make so much, like, it didn't make sense anymore.
Yeah.
So I put my 2 weeks. They called me up. They go, we won't do that to you. We'll actually give you a $2 raise. I go, I can't do that because you're going to do that to everybody else. It's just not right. I left. Started renting this little gym right across the street. Just cut the story short, really, is I ended up buying that store and the gym. There we go, and it has begun.
The store across the street.
Yeah, the store across the street. Yeah. I bought it, and I bought the little gym that was in it, and then the area that was vacant, I bought that too, and I made it an entire gym.
What was the name of your gym?
It was SF Performance, and it was hard. And what I'm talking about, I'm a person of acronyms. For example, you can see my eyelids are tatted, and it says Super Wow. It was like, what, Super Wow? Yeah, you know, I was like, hey, Super Wow's right here. But what it stands for is Strength Ultimately Presents Awareness, Wisdom, and Omnipresent Worth. Super Wow. So So the SF was for sick fuck. SICFUK.
Dude, that fucks everybody up. I know it.
But imagine back then. Back then, tattoos were looked at horrendously.
Yeah.
My shirts people were getting kicked out of gyms wearing them.
Wow.
And because of that, they sold even more. So now I got a clothing line going hard, and it was just really simple. Sick fuck. But what it stood for was soul and conditioning, faith, understanding, knowledge.
Wow.
Because you're looking at a book from the outside and you're judging it.
Yeah.
You're judging it. You're seeing the people that I was attracting were underdogs. There were people that were shy. There were people that didn't have a choice. There were people that were alcoholics, drug addicts that just didn't have an opportunity, and I gave them what exercise gave to me at that point.
Yeah.
Was the physical. And that was the reason I was doing it when everything was hard. When everything was hard and you had too many thoughts, squat till you throw up. All of a sudden you can't be thinking about your girl who broke up with you. Or what's going on with your job or your parents, just making you feel unworthy. There's no time to think about that. There's no time to think about none of that when your legs are burning, your chest is blazing. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted everybody to get that feel. My gym, I never had air conditioner. I never had heater. The winters, it was cold. And the summers, it was hot. 3,500 square feet. Yeah. Doors closed.
Yeah. Yo, you just made that sound like the most badass fucking.
It definitely was, God. It was hard. It was hard, yo. It was it. It was the #1 gym in El Paso. I don't speak that humbly. I speak that truthfully. I'm going to say this number, and I'm going to try to downplay it. But I believe 30 people tattooed sick fuck on their body. Never told one person to do it. As a matter of fact, people were getting mad. Like, why does that person got it? People started getting kind of like on this crazy caste system. They didn't earn it. And I was like, well, how do you earn it? Let me know how to earn this tattoo. I'm pretty curious about it because I never told anybody this was some type of stripe. Y'all just started to decide to put it on you because it meant that much for everybody, But then here we go. I was a young teacher. I was still trying to figure out who I was, what I was giving that. But because of my care, I was at least giving them that. But now what was going on, people started getting vain. You know what I'm saying? Vain. And you were bullied, now you start bullying. Hurt people. I had people hitting me up that own locations. That they're like, hey, man, your people, they got these sick fuck shirts and they're acting fools over here, over there. That was never my intent. And now, we're going back when you asked me, when was the time that I actually felt depressed was that? When I started seeing what I created, that people weren't living to the par of soul and conditioning, faith, understanding, knowledge. They were actually just being sick fucks. Fucking shit up. And then people that you love start... I feel, and I say this respectfully, I don't blame anybody for none of this. I feel like we live in a society that we're always expecting a savior. We're always expecting a savior. And you always want to blame somebody, BLAME, because looking at me ain't easy. Every time something goes wrong in your life, you want to blame somebody. So you're always looking for somebody else to save you. And think about that, You're always looking for a God and you're always looking for a devil. And recognizing that in reality, the only one's going to save you is the character within yourself. And you got to be that. You got to be that Christ consciousness. How did this Christ act? And be like that. Save yourself. You know what I'm saying? And if any of these stories are real and a savior does come down, I'm sure they're not going to condemn you for having your room cleaned. Like, seriously, you already bettered yourself. Congratulations, you bettered your society. So with that, when you get to a certain state, and people are not outside of that poor mentality, because there is no rich or there is no poor. It's a state of mind, plain and simple. I've met a lot of rich people that are poor. Poor mentality. They never think they have enough. They're always worried about bills. See them driving the finest cars, the finest clothes, everything, and they're still tripping. They're still worried.
And that is actually very poor.
It's very poor.
That is.
It's very poor.
That isn't like you could have a bunch of fucking money.
Yep.
And it's all tied up. And yeah, you feel poor. You literally have all this possession and feel
stuck.
Poor. Yeah.
And you're even confused because if you came up from another direction, you're like, why do I feel more broke right now with a big old crib than when I had a little apartment?
Exactly.
That's real because it's a state of mind. If you have a poor mentality, you have a poor mentality. So as the individuals were coming up physically, their mentality was still poor.
Because they're chasing.
Right. Yeah. But at the same time, I was an immature teacher. So when all of that was going down, I started getting depressed, seeing people acting the way they were. Seeing how I was, where I was at. Why can't I sleep at night? Why am I so worried about everybody and all this material?
So it basically made you want to look at yourself.
Without a doubt. First thing you got to do. And with that said, because of that, I started studying the Bible. I started studying the Quran. I started studying the Bhagavad Gitas. I started studying the Vedas. But also a lot of self-help books. You know, the 4 Agreements. The autobiography of a yogi. Why can't all of us be great? That's what all of this is for everybody to be great. And I read in the New Testament, Jesus said, give everything and walk with me. Give everything to the poor and walk with me. So I gave everything up. Closed these spots when they were the top. Luckily, I have a wonderful wife, Marley. Once again, when I told her this, she's like, yeah, it's time to close. Closed it.
Hold on, we gotta just give a shout out to Marley because Marley is super dope. Dude.
Y'all mean to me, Marley. Marley gets Nolly in the kitchen, y'all.
Yo, how do you all and I don't mean to sway, but how do you and Marley do? Like y'all's dynamic is just so different. Like how did y'all just build that kind of relationship? Like what went into that?
Yo, straight up.
Keep going.
Two titans colliding is the best way I could tell you. Both two hearts, both dealing with harm in a different way. Two people that won't give up who they are for nothing. That caused a lot of challenges where people see us as this powerful couple now, but back in the day, people were probably seeing us as the most toxic couple there was possibly is in certain states.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But because of that, because of recognizing the bad that was brought out of each other, being attached to one another, to actually say, let's let go and better ourselves while being together. We never separated. We actually just worked on ourselves while we were together, which caused separation.
So you guys like kind of like grew apart a little bit to grow back together, or what are you saying?
I feel we grew into each other by letting go of the attachment. And what I'm getting at is this. You meet a girl, right? Everything's going good. You're James. She's whoever. There's no judgment. I bit myself on that one. That was interesting. Somebody's supposed to hear this. There's no judgment. She's who she is. You are who you are. It's amazing. But now, would you like to be my girlfriend? I love you. I would love to be your girlfriend. Now you're my boyfriend. So now you're not James anymore. Now you're boyfriend. Now she's not, I don't know, let's make up a name. She's not Linda anymore. She's girlfriend. So now you have to act like boyfriend's supposed to act in her eyes and what you assume what boyfriend's supposed to act. Now she has to act like girlfriend's supposed to act in your eyes and also what she assumes.
Yeah.
So now it's a different character. And now that's where all the problems start happening. Because you've lost your identity to boyfriend and girlfriend. Right. And then it gets deeper. Now you get husband and wife. So now she has to be what you think a wife is and what she thinks and what you're a husband is and what she thinks. And that's the biggest problem. I do a lot of counseling. And I know we're jumping back and forth, but this is a lot of jumping back and forth in my life, but I know it's going where people are supposed to be hearing it. So I only do personal training for 3 days. All the other days I call it God's work. I do free counseling.
No. What?
I do just people need to hear, people need to vent, and the most I get is relationships. The most I get. Everybody wants to be in a relationship, but that's the most.
Nowadays,
What causes that?
I'm gonna tell you right here, right now. I'm gonna tell you the key to this. The reason is because James wants to love Linda for the way he expects her to be and not for who she is. Linda wants to love James for who she thinks James should be, not who he is. Example, you at the club, you know, you getting gnarly, right? Oh, it's good. You see this hottie. She's dancing on the bar. She got the little skirt. She likes to hang out with her friends, obviously, having a good time. You're like, yo, girl, fine. Yo, what's up?
Yeah.
Damn. You didn't know what your true intention is at that point. But then she ends up being cool, too. She got a lot of good qualities that you like. Like it. Here we go.
He felt that
Here we go. Yo, so, and now you get with her. And again, now you're at boyfriend-girlfriend status. But now you're not comfortable her going out with her friends and wearing the little skirt, being on the bar.
Yeah.
But that's who she is. But now because she's your girlfriend, she shouldn't be. But don't. That's who she is. But again, we live in a society of bad guy, good guy. No, it's either you agree or disagree. So she's still the same. But get this. She's also insecure because James wants to hang out with Diego and go to the bars. But why is she insecure? Because where did she meet you? At the bar what? Trying to hook up with chicks. But I don't want him to hook up with chicks and go to the bars. But that's who he is. But in a relationship, you're not supposed to be like that. Who says? So the problem with relationship is this. Is you get with somebody and will only love them if they're exactly who you want them to be. Instead of who they are. People jump into these relationships only picking up a certain part of character and expecting the other part of that character to change. And nobody's going to change for you. Only they're going to change for themselves. Everyone has a character. We were all here right now, and there's an ant hole, right? Ant hole comes, ants just get on us. We're having this dope podcast. They start biting us. We're gonna be like, yo, dude, get the ants. Try to figure it out. Either move them, get them out the way, or we'll move the podcast somewhere else. But it's not like you're gonna be like, I forgive you, ant, for what you did. You bit me, but I forgive you. Or you're not going to go up to the ants and be like, I can't believe what you did. I'll never forgive you. No. Why? Because we know what ants do. Ants bite. It's what they do. So, in a relationship, when a cheater cheats, why are you mad? Cheaters cheat. Liars lie.
So all that to say, what it so are you saying like we're basically programmed to view and see our relationship a certain way, and we each have our own views, but what I'm really getting at is like, what's your take on like monogamy? Like, would you say we're programmed to believe that monogamy was like the one and only way of having a healthy relationship?
I feel everybody's an individual and you could be whoever you want, and that's just the reality of it. I can't tell you who you are.
Right.
You could choose. We're in this society where everybody's trying to judge people to say, oh, but I'm a female. No, you're not. You're a male. You got this. But in their mind, they're a female. I can't change that. Like, that's what they say they are. Yo, God, if you tell me you a dog right now and you're just like, roof, roof, roof. Hey, stop acting like a dog, fool. You ain't no dog. Roof, roof. No, you can be a dog. We have free will. The difference between us and any other being in this reality is we have the right to be whoever we want to be. God gave us this right. Consciousness gave us this right. It's what it is. It can't be broken. So you could be whoever you want. People could say you're not, but that's really their opinion.
Last time we were talking about free will.
Right.
You say that but then you also talk about, because we were talking about like free will, saying how you can make certain decisions that will lead you down a certain path. You have conscious control over those things, but you also say that we are already who we're supposed to be.
Isn't that the craziest thing?
Yeah,
that's that wonderful thing. No, without a doubt, it's already. Quantum physics teaches this, that everything's already happened, because there is no time. It all happened. This was Albert Einstein. It all happened at once. We're only here to understand our choices, but we have the right to pick our choices, even though they already happened. Go figure that one.
Because there's like infinite possibilities?
Infinite possibilities. Infinite possibilities.
So are you saying that no matter what we end up choosing, though, like, it's already predetermined, like, how it's going to play out?
Because it already happened. It's all there. It just depends on how you pick it up. But yeah, without a doubt. This is where individuals, whether you want to call them prophets or psychics or so forth, can pretty much have things determined because they already tuned into what was. But at the same time, just because it's predetermined, it's like a football game. Just because the football game's predetermined doesn't mean that you're not going to play hard. You're going to play the game, God. You got to play the game. And make those choices. They call, but we gotta go here though. But you see, this is the opportunity. The opportunity is here. If it's already predetermined, then predetermine it. You have that capability. Just leave it at that. Right. Instead of going, well, if it's already no. Since you heard me saying, well, wait a minute, if he's already saying it's predetermined, we have the right to choose. Well, think about what I just said. They both are the same thing. In reality, that's the crazy. It's actually the same thing. What? Yeah. Wait a minute. I have a free will, but it's predetermined. You have a free will to pick your predetermination. It's already there. It's all there. Now, again, there is divine intervention because, again, it's already predetermined. Say, I'll tell you one. I was late. Never late. I wasn't late technically because of my reality and my way of thinking. I'm never late. They were doing work on the streets of Vista del Sol. I thought I saw my maps different, and I exited on Vista del Sol instead of Mount Wood and Zaragoza, which basically put me in a situation of all this road work, and I was chilling. But with that said, I was very grateful.
Do you ever get road rage?
Never.
No, God, I was gonna say, I was like,
thankful, God. never. But I always see, again, I have recognized my natural state of being, and I will continue there. Now, I hope I don't piss nobody off, but it is what it is. Here we go. I haven't walked on water yet, so I'm still learning. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, if everything is vibration, we can really, in this faith, move mountains with the size of a mustard seed, your pineal gland. Here we go. That's a Bible verse, but just a little part about that. Yeah, Jesus said, "Hey, with faith the size of a mustard seed, you could move mountains." Well, what's the size of a mustard seed? Your pineal gland. Your thought process. With that said, I know better not to have road rage because I do the best I can. And if I know I did the best I could, this was the expected result, which is divine intervention. Meaning, if I was on the freeway, I might have gotten into a car accident. I don't know. I'm just grateful that I got stuck on the road work. It was for my benefit. And that's when we were talking about free will and predetermination is when you're on the right track, divine intervention is going to occur. Oh, but I was supposed to be the famous basketball player, and my knee went out. Thank God. What do you mean, thank God? Because that wasn't your purpose. You were supposed to move forward this way. I was supposed to be a pro bodybuilder until I changed my mind. But then I would have never done this podcast. I would have probably been on the internet and, oh, look at all these fans and, blue check mark, whatever. But I would have not been here having this conversation.
Does it ever cross your mind, like what you could have been had you, like, been training with Ronnie still, or... Like,
oh, yeah. No, without a doubt. I know what I could have been. But I chose not to.
And does that, does, I guess, quote unquote, like, you're not missing out, but, like, does missing out or, like, not living that lifestyle or life, like, bother you at all? Or
not at all. Not at all, because I want more. It's not that I want less. I want more. That's the craziest part.
Like, more than that lifestyle.
I want way more than that. I want this. I want to, right here, right now, All of us are just in tune. We chilling. Anybody need anything? Victor, you need something, guy? You good? All right, I'm good too. So right now, none of us need anything. You know, I got some ashwagandha. I got this wonderful mineral water. Man, the air conditioner here is nice. I love the colors. So right now, none of us need anything. That means we're all wealthy. We're all wealthy right now. This is what wealth is. You know, the wealthy don't... Just break that down in your mentals right now. The wealthy don't need anything. When you're wealthy, you don't need anything. Right now, we're wealthier than Joe Biden. We're wealthier than Donald Trump. I mean, that dude got popped with, like, I don't know, they put so many felonies on him. This other dude had to resign, you know what I'm saying? They're going through those struggles. We're wealthier than Puff Daddy. These, yo, come on, guy. Like, for sure, I know Trump and Diddy are billionaires. I don't know what Biden is, but they're obviously what you would think financially way above us, if that's what you want to call that. But yet, right now, they're probably tripping. I might be assuming, but more than likely, they're probably tripping. You know what I'm saying? So that means right here, right now, we're actually wealthier than them. Oh, yo. Can we keep a wealthy state of mind all day? Is the key to success. So why would I have road rage when I got nowhere to be on time, because I'm always on time, because everything's served for me because I am in service. Ugh. What are we going to rush for? We're already living. Yo, guess what I did when I was in the car? I put on some KRS-One. I was jamming, getting down. Excited for this podcast, knowing my peeps were going to be here to greet me. Visualizing, praying, being grateful. Good.
Why do you feel like people choose not to believe in the higher power or God?
I truly feel because of how it's expressed in this unfortunate, and I say this respectfully. But let those who have ears, let them hear, right? And I don't even want to put it like that. I'm not trying to start no beefs. I respect everyone. I really do. But I feel it's a caste system. Look at my shirt. I made this shirt right here. See that right there? It says love one another.
All religions.
All religions love one another. A lot of people think I can't wear that. It has that on there. It doesn't matter. Is it the whole goal to love one another? Yeah. So I feel the reason people go against it because it's a belief system and not an experience. A belief system is not an experience. Meaning, I don't believe in my hand because I experience it. I don't have to believe in my hand. I literally experience it. I don't believe in God because I experience God. How do I know that? I'm chilling with God and God right here. People probably gonna be like, don't be calling them God. Why not? Are they not the child of consciousness? Again, consciousness is coming from somewhere. Free will is coming from somewhere. Then that's the source. Again, you want to call God God. You want to call God Christ. You want to call God Krishna. Whatever you want to call this divine source. Big Bang, randomness. I like love. As a matter of fact, that's all the religions can agree on, that God is. The Bhagavad Gita stated, the Vedas, the Quran, the Bible, the barrels of Buddha. So actually all these books have one scripture that says God is love. I like that. Because it's an energy that we can't see, but we know it's there. It's an energy that we want to be hugged by all day. And it's an energy that could only be expressed and experienced through action. There's a Bible verse in the New Testament, Book of Mark. Can't actually come up with the deals on it, but I'll tell you what it says. It says, preach God to every person and every being. Okay, so say I'm seeing God, right? Okay, I'm supposed to preach God. So am I supposed to All right. So then I go to a dog. In the book of Genesis, dog looking at me like, to a tree. In the Quran, it says this, the barrels of Buddha. So I'm talking to plants, I'm talking to animals. And I'm preaching God. Well, there's only one language that everybody understands. You could go to China, you could go to Mexico, you could go Australia, you could go anywhere, and everybody understands this language. As a matter of fact, everything understands this language. Dogs, cats, insects, they all understand this language. There's one language everybody understands: action. Action is always truthful, it will never lie. Every being, every person understands language. We meet each other. Bro, yo, So how do I preach to a dog about God? Give him some pets. To a cat, let me give you a bowl of milk. Excuse me, a tree, let me water you. Action. So whatever you want to call this source, go with it. If you don't believe in God, then that's okay. Believe in love. Believe in faith. There's a scripture that says, you cannot enter heaven on good deeds alone. Well, what is heaven? Are we in heaven right now? Does this feel pretty heavenly to you? Yeah, I'm pretty heavenly right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels pretty good. Everybody feel heavenly right now?
Yeah, man, I'm at peace right now.
I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I think this is heaven. Oh, but heaven will be filled with golden roads and, I don't know. I don't know how a golden road right now is going to make me feel any better, to be honest with you. It's be paved in gold. All right, cool. So I got some gold under me now. All right, what am I going to do with it? Sell it. So there's no purpose for it. So this is heaven right here for me. So it says, you cannot enter heaven on good deeds alone. How many people try to just be moral, but are pissed off all day or worried all day? They're not in heaven. They're doing good things. No, parents, I gotta make sure, James got everything he needs, and they're tripping. Road rage. I gotta go to James, and causing all this havoc mentally, but they're doing good deeds.
Right.
But they're still not entering heaven. Why? Because they tripping. They're in the hell. Parasympathetic nervous central system, sympathetic nervous central system. Parasympathetic nervous central system is this: happiness, peace, joy, kind, compassion, alkaline state. You're chilling. Sympathetic is your flight or fight. A dog comes out here randomly, or God forbid this, but I don't know, say that thing comes alive and starts chasing us. We're like, oh, you're not going to be able to pee or poop. Your digestive system has to turn off. Your kidneys have to create adrenaline from your adrenal glands so you could book. Acid burns. It has to create acid for you to have that flame to roll. It's not a bad thing. Sometimes you need to use those energies of fear. Sometimes you gotta use that anger, but keeping it in Zen. What do I mean by that? Try picking up 5 plates off the ground. Now you gotta be like, come on, go, let's go. You know what I'm saying? I'm not taking my anger personal, but I'm using that rage to bring it up. So they're useful. It's not that I'm against what you would call the negative energy. No, it actually works for these type of things. But when you're worshiping it all day, it just eats you up. You're in acid all day. Your body's acidic. That means you're burning in hell all day.
Damn. So you're saying it's all a state of mind?
It's always a state. Everything's a state of mind.
Yeah.
It's a state of mind.
So for someone, let's just say like our age, or it can be literally anybody, because I feel like anybody goes through it, who feels lost, or they just feel like they're in a position where they don't feel fulfilled, what's like the first step someone should do?
If you're watching this, call me. 915-412-3091. Hit me up. 399 Emerald Mist 79928. Let's conversate. The first thing is to actually change your mind. You need to start recognizing what's bothering you. And here we go. It's not like I'm telling everybody to be this, because I hear this all the time. You'll hear a lot of people, and they'll wear the happy outfit and grand rising, peace and prosperity. Yeah, but then, you know, stuff hits the fan and they're like, you know, so it ain't real. No, they call it in psychology, they call it toxic positivity. I don't call it that because you can't put those words together. Like, how can your positivity be toxic, right? But I call it denial. You're pretending everything's okay, but there's stuff really bothering you. And that's not what I'm telling you to do. I'm not telling you to fake it till you... Now that's faking it until you're trying to make it, and you're just not going to make it that way. What I'm saying is, yeah, life can get hard. It can definitely get challenging and destructive. And it can beat you up. It can beat the hell out of you up. But the last thing you want to do is self-sabotage. Yup, guess what? Your girl cheating on you. Your job fired you. Your best friend just died. Yeah, shit. You know, sucks. I get it. But what does just getting messed up all day doing for you? You're just giving up. You're letting everything win. Nah, this is where you get up and progress. How do I move forward? Okay. Girlfriend left me. Man. All right. But why is it that I feel that I need her to make me happy? And was I even really happy when she was with me? She was happy at times, but I was giving her the responsibility to make me happy. That means I was never happy in the first place. What steps can I take to become happy? Practice happiness. Digest it. Go to the library, pick up a book. If you don't like to read, hear a podcast, something that's going to give you something insightful, that's going to wake you up a little bit, give you some freshness. Like I said, call me, and that's real. Job fires you. Okay. And next opportunity. Divine intervention. Obviously, this wasn't meant for me. So let me try my best and see what is my purpose. There's a spiritual law, and I believe it's the 7th. And Dr. Deepak Chopra was the one who taught this. So forgive me if I'm wrong if you watch this. But I believe it's the 7th spiritual law of success. It's called the law of least effort. Your purpose is supposed to come easy to you. Meaning that you love it. I never work hard in life. I work joyfully. I've never worked a day hard in my life. I work joyfully. People are like, well, I don't like that. No, it's real. No, I work hours, bro. Like, I'm talking about, I wake up at 4:30 a.m. and I fall asleep at 12 p.m., sometimes 1, 2 a.m. because I'm counseling. But it's not hard work. It's joyful work. I love what I do. So it's a law of least effort to me. It comes easy. This podcast right here, I saw you working. I know what it takes. I'm seeing it. I'm actually very impressed. Your lighting. I'm pretty sure you had a lot of slip-ups of how to improve it. Y'all are talented, man. Like, giving y'all love. It's just a talent. Just the setup, the background. I know all of this was intentional to make it just appear what it is. But I know also y'all don't work hard. Y'all work joyfully. And that's what the law of least effort is. I'm not saying there's not going to be challenges. I'm just saying that you're thriving to succeed during those challenges versus doing something you hate that gives you no satisfaction. And that's a problem that I see a lot is, you're talking about age. The problem that I see with a lot of youth. Can I tell y'all a story? Do we got time for a story?
Yeah, we got it all the time.
That's love. Oh, Edward. Yo, son, forgive me, but I got to give this to you because I love you, son, but you're my man. So maybe I should have said another name, but I already said him, so here it is. I saw my seed, my oldest male. He's a good dude, man, and not because he's my son. I'm just saying he's good people. He's just, I love seeing his character, and I started seeing him go against his character. I started feeling him. He's always very respectful. He's going to college to be an engineer. He's probably gonna get pissed off saying this story. He might disagree with me, but you know, us dads, we feel our seeds a little bit. We know him, you know. And I saw him just, yo, son, can you throw the trash? Yeah, like a different, like, yo, you good? Yes, sir. Like, oh, yes, sir. Like, okay, dude. Like, literally, like, it almost felt like fuck you. Like, yes, you know what I'm saying? Like, didn't seem like a yes, sir. You know, like, I'm feeling it. I'm like, man, what's this deal, yo? Like, you know, and you know, I'm trying to stay detached from the situation because he's his own being. I'm just here to obviously be the example of what a man is supposed to be, and I try my best. But I'm watching him. And then all of a sudden, one day, I get a call. I'm trading like 5 heads. Calls Marley. It's like, hey, I got in a fender bender. Can somebody pick me up? Marley's like, hey, Edward said he got in a fender bender. I go, fender bender, son? Well, you can't drive your car home? No, it's because all the cops are here. But don't worry, Dad, it's not my fault. I'm like, nah, it's all good. You want me to go over there? And that battery. La bateria.
No, we're good.
Oh, we're good.
It only records 30 minutes at a time.
Oh, no, that's dope. We've been on it, huh? Okay, thank you for your times. So I go over. His car's underneath a truck, yo, with the total. The car's like,
damn,
blown to pieces, dude. I'm like, yo, son, that ain't no fender bender. What the fuck? All these cars are just like rammed into each other. East Lake. Everybody who knows goes on East Lake. They kind of fixed it a little bit, but that yield sign going to the gateway, I see accidents there all the time, man. It's a train there. It's a train wreck, literally. So that's what happened. Somebody hit a car in back of him. That car, hit him, etc., etc., etc. He's okay, thank God. I'm like, you sure you're all right? He goes, he's good. He goes, Dad, I know what I want to be. I was like, what? No, I know what I'm going to do in life. I was like, you know what happened, man? The ancestors hit you. Mm-hmm. God talked to you in your ear. You know what you have? Buddha in the right ear, Jesus in the left. Like, what's going on, God? You know. And he's like, I want to be a border patrol agent. Okay. Yo, all right. Like, okay, son. I'm gonna ask you some questions, but don't answer me until I tell you you can. You want to make that deal? He goes, yeah, Dad, because he was all fired up. I go, do you feel that this country's borders are in so much danger that you need to put your life to protect them and possibly die to serve this country doing it? I go, don't answer that. But the last time when you were a waiter, you called me, you were so upset because your heart's so good that there was this girl having a problem with this table, and she started crying because she said they were so mean, and you told her, don't worry, I'll take the table. And that was the first time anybody's ever been so rude to you in your life that you called me and said, I don't want to do this anymore, I want to quit. And I told you it was okay. But you said, nah, I'm going to tough it out. I go, are you ready to deal with people that are pissed off? Because you're about to change lives. And as a matter of fact, are you ready to change lives? Separate families. It's a life changer what you're doing. You're arresting people. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for people to be upset, hurt? Are you ready to possibly have dreams of what you did because that energy of those people are still remembering your face? Are you ready to possibly be shot at? Are you possibly ready to kill? I'm like, don't answer that. You know, I see him. He's listening. I go, I want to tell you something about you, son. I'm proud of you. You've already became the man that succeeded in life. You've done everything I wanted you to be. You're done. You made it. I go, it takes 10 years to master something in life. It takes 10 years when you do it loyally and proficient. I've raised you for way over 10 years of life. So I'm a master at raising you. So that means I will always supply for you. So you could live here all your life and I'm going to pay all your bills. All you got to do is just play video games like you do and that's it. No, Dad, I'm going to plan to move out. And I'm like, yo, guy, chill. I told you, don't say nothing. I get it. I know you want to do stuff. I'm just saying you don't have to. You could just live there and play video games, and I'm proud of you. I will go around. What does your son do all day? Oh, man, he loves playing video games, and he's the best at it. You should see him on man, what's that one game? I'll leave that one alone. But yeah, I'll leave it alone if I give too much. He's awesome. Or, oh, my son, oh, you should see him. He's an amazing waiter, yo. Go hit him up. I'm already that proud. You're done, bro. You don't got to do nothing. I go, anything else that you want to do is only going to be making me happier if it makes you happier. If not, I could care less, bro. I could really care less if you're the president of the United States. I could care less if you're a billionaire. Nothing's going to change. You've already accomplished everything in life. And he started getting a little sentimental. I saw him. And I go, but you know what? Hold up. Let me change that thought a little bit. I was like, if you really feel you want to do something else extra, I go, just clean your room, throw the trash once in a while. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Then I'll really be stoked. So then I asked him, so I'm going to ask you this question again. Do you really want to be a Border Patrol agent? Is that your purpose? He said, nah, Dad. Nah, I don't. He goes, but I don't know what to do. He's all like, I dropped out of college a couple of months ago. So he was hiding that from me. Or maybe not hiding it. I don't want to say it like that. He didn't want to tell me. Yeah. Obviously, I saw why his attitude changed. I told him, congratulations, man. Rock and roll, dude. I'm glad you did that. Because, man, if you weren't liking it, why would you be going to college? He's just looking at me like. I go, bro, like I said, I got you. You don't got to do nothing other than you do. If you want to just play video games and hang out at the house, you've accomplished everything because you're a beautiful character. You have one of the best characters ever. People always tell me how much a wonderful person you are. I go, let's go home. So we go home. Months go by. He's just going to work. He's back, smiling, feeling good. And he comes up to me. He goes, yo, Dad, I'm going to be coming home late on a couple of these days. I go, cool, man. What you up to? He's like, going to go back to college. I go, okay, dope. What you planning for? He goes, I like teaching, man. I think I want to try to be a teacher. Now, as a dad, of course he was going to be a teacher. This kid's always like to see people improve, help. He's trained. He saw his dad training. I taught him how to work out. He would train his friends and they would lose all this weight. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, of course you're a teacher. Of course you're a coach, bro. And that's what he said. I want to be a coach. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. Of course, he dropped out of college before saying he's an engineer. And Ed, do not get mad at me saying this. Because last time we had this discussion, he's like, no, I did like it. Saying he'd be an engineer. That kid never helped me fix anything in the house. How you gonna be an engineer? You didn't see me struggling with doors. And I didn't see you. Never saw you fixing a vacuum, doing nothing. I go, you ain't no engineer, bro. You were in there for the wrong thing. But I couldn't tell him that. I'm not. Who am I to tell you what you can't do? But I do know as your dad what you're good at, and you're a teacher. So that's just where it's at. I just feel a lot of times we're taught that material success is outside of us. And you don't even know who you are. You know, you get to where y'all at, and y'all don't even know who you are yet. But yet you're getting rushed that you got to do this and you got to do that. Now, all you got to do is be a good person and have faith. So again, what did we say God was? Love, faith, happiness, joy, compassion, right? All those energies that we want to be. And then he said, love thy neighbor. Two simple ones. Be considerate to people, care for people, serve people. You got those two in life, you're good. And that's all we have to do. That's it. Everything else follows through. That's all you need to be. Everything else is just extra. And that's okay. But the thing is they try to tell you you gotta have the car, you gotta have the house, all of this and that. And now you're just trying to keep up with this society that's teaching you to consume. Yeah, it sounds like there's some marketing scammers out there, right? Let me just teach you to consume so we get paid and have you attached to our material, meaning we're slaves. I was on some linguistics the last time, and I realized this. Our ancestors, they came in ships. They came in ships. And normally all ships are named after a woman. You ever notice that?
I actually
Nina, Santa Maria.
But yeah, now that you,
pay attention. As a matter of fact, just go look up any boat right now. Well, they got the Titanic. That one was different, but maybe that's why it crashed. But most of the time, ships are named after a female. But why? Because they carry. And what do they carry? Product from the manufacturer. They carry product from the manufacturer puts it in there. And now you have to have a list. Yep, you have to have a list. A birth certificate. It's a birth certificate because the ship has to deliver at the birth. BERTH. And how does it get there? By the currency of the water. That is guided by the river Becks. The river Becks. Here we go. Told y'all. English don't lie. Pay attention to the spells. Now, the product is delivered with the deposit of the card, which is secured in society, the Social Security, and you become a citizenship. Take it for what you want.
That's insane, bro. Bro,
so of course, work so you can get what you want, but not be who you are. We're supposed to be free, and you should have the freedom to be who you are. But when you don't have the freedom to be who you are, that means you're what? Enslaved. Looks like slavery's still going on.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you had to get to the point of where you had money, you had these gyms, you were, essentially you had gotten to the point where you were working towards, and you felt like you were at the top of, I guess,
of what society says?
Top,
right?
Do you feel like you had to get to that point to then say and realize that I don't need it?
I feel I had to get. So it's beautiful. I love that question. I feel like I had to get to that point for others to actually watch and me let them know that that point's not going to get you where you want to be. And the reason I'm actually saying this is I've always thought free, in a sense, other than I said the protection. Other than the protection, I've never been materialistic. Other than the material that is around me, which was still materialistic, and I had to let that go, and that was challenging. But I feel I had to reach this state to be a testimony. And if you think about it, I'm a pretty good testimony. You look at my Instagram, you look at my Facebook, I had the body that everybody wanted. I had the income. I mean, I think there's like a picture in there where I did a magazine pic, which is hilarious, where I'm like flexing like this, and I got like girls like I'm in my underwear, and they're just grabbing me everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So it was all there. I was tough. Oh, he could fight. Oh, he has, everything what supposedly a man is. So what? What was I? Worried, stressed, sad, lonely. Lonely. Isn't that crazy? Everybody wants to be around you and you're lonely. Why? Because they don't want to be around you. They want to be around the image.
Damn.
That's what I tell my pretty girls, which was supposed to be pretty in society. I go, I feel for you because you're pretty. And they think, oh, like it's cute. I go, no, you don't get it. Because you're pretty Guys don't care who you are, but they're going to tell you they do. Oh, it's because you're so smart. All of that, you believe in it, but they don't. They just want to tap because of how you look. But then to all my good-looking guys, same thing. They just want that security because you got those big shoulders. They don't really care who you are. Again, why do these relationships fail? Because they don't care who you are. You're going for the image and not the truth.
So, as someone who is striving to, continuing to, just from the inside, like I have this like motivation and this drive to do the podcast, obviously, and do it as well as I can. But there's also this innate like motivation I have to like grow it.
Right.
And I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing, you know? Because I don't know if like, yeah, because ultimately like it can get very, because I see people like they get so caught up in a certain goal, and yeah, it's good maybe from the outside looking in, but is it really like fulfilling you in a way? So like, how do you draw the line between like having goals and wanting to accomplish things, but at the same time like still do it? Like, am I doing it for the right reason, you know? Like, I don't know if it's...
Well, let me ask you this question. How do you feel right now?
I feel really good. I feel like I'm having an amazing conversation, and that's why I started it, you know?
Keep that then.
Yeah.
Start attracting your tribe. Start attracting amazing conversations.
Mm-hmm.
It's again, you pick your relationship. I see people pick car. You work at a dealership.
Bring it up. Come on, say it, man.
I see people pickier choosing a car than choosing a relationship.
Man.
That's what's wild, because we have this desperate need of partnership, whether just friends, family, significant other. And I think it's not that I think, I feel it. It's what it is. We're scared to be alone because you're scared to face yourself, because you're never alone. It's impossible to be alone. You're always with yourself. You got to make sure that person you're with is dope. You know, you want to make sure that person's trustworthy. You want to make sure that person's loved. I literally have these conversations with myself all day still. The challenges still come in. You know, but I go, yo, Eddie, you better chill out. 'Cause I don't hang out with some dude that be tripping. If we going to be kicking it, I need you strong, bro. You got to start having that conversation. And I think that's just what it is we settle. We settle. And we expect people to be who they are instead of just recognizing that they are who they are. Relationships, once again, right? If you're worried about your girl cheating, what's making you worry? What's the problem? Did you really choose her right? Because I'll tell you like this. I just barely met you, God. I just barely met you. Victorious over here, I just barely met him. But I trust y'all in my crib. I know if I leave you in the room, I know y'all ain't going to steal nothing. I don't have to, hey, make sure you guys don't steal. See what I'm saying? So you know. You know. And sometimes you might be off. Maybe you mischode, but then you catch it, then you get to know who the character is. It's not... There's steps to the game. I get it. Forgive others, not for them, but for yourself. I get that. But the reality is this: you shouldn't be forgiving nobody because you shouldn't be judging. Who am I to judge you for stealing? Seriously, who am I for judging you for stealing? Who am I for you to judge you for even hurting somebody in my household? Nah, I just got to do what I got to do, and that's it. I got to protect myself, and that's it. Move away. Fix it. But I can't hold on to it. Trust a murderer to kill. Trust a liar to lie. Trust a cheater to cheat. Trust someone who's joyful to be joyful. Trust someone to be compassionate to be compassionate. You know who they are. So when you're in a relationship and you're actually tripping about that person, then you probably didn't pick the person you really wanted. You just wanted a certain piece. I tell everybody, write down the person that you want and don't settle for less. I'd rather be alone than be with somebody that I didn't want to be with. Because you're never lonely, first of all. I gotta give you this one. I just have to. We here. So this is a great explanation. So this was Jay Shetty.
Think like a monk.
Yeah. You read that already?
Yeah.
You remember what he said? He said that when he became a monk, it was a beautiful story. He had to shave his head. So like that, he looked ordinary. He couldn't have no vanity. He couldn't comb his head. Nothing. He could only wear 2 pairs of clothing. There was no mirrors in the monastery. You ate the same food, so you couldn't be a glutton. He had no desire. It's like, oh, you weren't looking forward for pizza day. Yeah, you're getting soup again for the rest of your life. Deal with it. Deal with it or bounce. Your choice. So you got to learn that. You got to study, meditate, exercise to better your body and better your mind. Study, meditate, breath work, exercise. Beg to kill your pride. And wear the same clothing every day. That's what it is. He said he could thrive in all of that. The hardest was celibacy. He's like, why do I keep looking at these girls? And I always thought that. And I caught it. I'm like, why am I looking at these titties and want them so bad? They're a bunch of fat.
Why is it so fucking hard?
Right. Why is it so hard? It's a nipple with you know,
it's like not her showing the nips,
right. Then you got your homeboy that has titties, and you're like, ugh. Almost looks identical, but why is it on her? Is what I want. And you're like, well, shoot, really, it's to feed babies. Okay. The ass. Why is that fat so good? Why is it I don't want it on that belly, but that ass, fatter and thicker? Oh my Lord. You know, I just want to be all up in it, even though shit comes out of it. Confused. What's going on? So then you start recognizing the marketing of it, but the reality is this. You see that as something desirable. It's something that you want. It's something that's so amazing that you put it on a pedestal. So now when you actually hook up with that person, you're like, wait a minute. That beautiful object wants me back? Wait a minute, wants me? Oh, no. That hot, fine woman wants me? Ego. It's ego. It wants me. Then you get with her. And now all of a sudden, you're in a relationship. Wow, this beautiful being just wants to be with me and nobody else. So what's the truth about it? Is it the sex? Yeah, no, it feels good, man. Busting a nut feels great, without a doubt. But in reality, you keep thinking about it, so does a foot massage, so does good food. And everybody's be like, oh, you know sex is way better. But let me clarify what I'm trying to say. In this physical reality, the basic needs, right? The basic desires that people need. Some people are even stronger than that, but I'm saying the average person. Food, shelter, clothing. You got food, you got shelter, you got clothing, you've already made it. You're already a baller. You've made it. That's all you need. Food, shelter, clothing. You're comfortable, you're clothed to protect, and you're fed. That's all you need in life. But yet, for some of that ass, you'll risk your food, your shelter, and your clothing.
God damn.
Right. I know busting a nut feels good, but damn, it feels that good that you're willing to give everything else up that makes you survive? You can survive without some ass, but shit, you ain't gonna be able to survive much longer without that shelter, food, or clothing. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, you don't have that ass is gonna go away anyway. So what's going on? Why? How many divorces do you see because of that? How many wars have been fought because of that? How many vicious acts, have been because of that? That's the number one killer. That's real. Think about that. That's the number one stress of everything, is that part. So is sex really that good to fuck up your whole life? So then why do you want it so bad? It's very simple. You want to be worshipped. It's not the sex. It's not the busting the nut. I'm going to speak this out loud. Oh, all my church people are going to be like, Eddie, but you're righteous. And I go, yeah, I'm straight up righteous, y'all. But sometimes you got to put them words out. I'm going to put it like this, guys. There's some fine girls out there, but I could probably make myself busting up better than any other female can touch me. But yeah, why don't I want, if it's an urge, why don't I want to do it on myself? Why is it that I want a woman to do it? You want to be worshipped. That's what it is. Wait a minute, this fine, beautiful object is think about that. You want to feel credible.
Yeah.
Yes, I get it that you want to unite and be loved and etc. But to risk everything to hold hands, get out of here. Don't play me. What you're telling me is you want to be worshipped. Why? Because you don't feel worshipped. That means what you're telling me is you feel insecure about yourself. That you need somebody that's a divine, beautiful being to tell you you're gorgeous to feel accepted. And this is why relationships are, again, all jacked up. Mm-hmm. You're just trying to find somebody to make you feel that you're valid, because obviously you don't think you are. But once you think, well, wait a minute, and this is my perception, of course, I could go home right now and y'all don't exist. In reality, that's real unless one of y'all call me. Or if I think about you, of course you're there, but you're physical. I don't even know this is. I don't even know what I'm doing if this is even real. You know, this could be a dream and I wake up somewhere else. Right? Because of that experience, of that understanding, everything's love. I love you, bro. I met you. I love you. A lot of times we're scared to say that word. But what's love? Love is an action. I don't love you less than I love my wife, and I don't love you more than my wife. I love you uniquely for Diego. I love James uniquely for James. I love Victor uniquely for Victor. How do I prove that? What up, my dude? Peace to the guy. Yo, you want some water?
Dude, that fucking water you gave me was
alkaline. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But obviously, without even you telling me you love me, you love me. Love in a cup. Love in a cup. Because love is an action. But we try to make this love energy. It's how silly of us, right, to try to put love in a box. I've never loved anybody like I've loved you, right? Because you're unique. But you can't love nobody less and nobody more. It's an action. It's an energy that's an action. Because you could claim to love somebody, but how many times have you done something foul in a relationship? Because it wasn't love, that's lust. And everybody thinks lust is sex, and it's not. You could lust a car, you could lust a house. You could lust your kids. It's an attachment. Lust is an attachment. I can't live without you. I crave being around you. You can lust a dog. That's real. But everybody wants to call it sex because they don't want everybody to open up and recognize what it is. It's attachment. When you're attached, you're enslaved. But of course, we got to keep you there so you don't get over here. But now that you've heard these words, now you can empower yourself. Yeah, she's pretty. But what else is about her? I'm happy. Should I include her in my happiness? Is that somebody I want to partner up with?
So do you think it's possible to be stuck in like this middle ground of like love and lust?
Oh, without a doubt. I see it all day.
And how do you go about fixing that?
Fixing yourself.
It starts with you.
It's all you. So nobody's your problem except you. You're your own problem. It's like this. It's like Diego's next to me, right? And I start telling him, whatever that means. You know, in my mind, I was saying, you a fucking bitch, blah, 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 blah. He didn't take it personal because he can't even understand me. But now that I said, fuck you, bitch, blah, 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 you know, start cursing him out. Ah, fuck this dude, dude. So who was the problem? Was I the problem? No, he's his own problem. He accepted the words. He didn't accept the blah, 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 blah. But when I started speaking words that he understood, he accepted and digested them in. So you're your only problem. You're your only problem. The only time that somebody can harm is physical harm. But even then, after that, you're still your only problem. But when does that all really happen?
So what if like... So let's just say like me, for example, I want to get better. I want to improve. Like I'm making right. Changing habits. I'm practicing happiness, digesting, you know, all the positivity, right? And somebody I love, let's just say, is in a different time and point in life, and they're not necessarily doing the right things. I guess, well, how would I put it? Like, how do you maintain the balance of like not separating yourself from that person, or maybe trying to include them in like what you're trying to do? Like, yeah, how do you go about like, yeah, like just keeping it, because you don't want like negative energy around you, especially if you're trying to change or better yourself. Like, how do you go about that if, let's just say, your circle is not
unconditional love? Things? That has to be unconditional, because if it's not unconditional, it's conditional. I'll only love you if you are a certain way.
Right.
So you have to really be real with yourself because it's an agreement. A relationship's an agreement.
Right.
Am I okay with the way you're acting right now? And can I deal with it 10 years from now? And if you can't, that's okay. You have to be okay letting go.
So it's essentially, you deal with it until they figure it's time for them to better themselves, or you walk away.
Because if you feel it's not keeping you harmonious, it's okay to walk away. And it's nobody's fault. It's just a disagreement. It's where it's at. And yes, it's scary because it's a change of life. But because of that, it's freeing. It's to say, I love you, because you do love them. You give them actions. I love that you call me in the morning. I love how we joke around. I love that we watch certain movies together. But I don't like this. I don't like that. So what you're really saying, again, it has nothing to do with her. It has to do with you. Because in reality, this is a hard one for a lot of people to get. In reality, you don't fully love her. Because if you fully loved her, you'd be okay with that. And it's okay not to fully be in love with somebody and say, wow, it's not that I feel rejected by you. I'm actually rejecting you. I can't deal that you're a cheater. I can't deal that you're violent at times or upset or whatever, whatever it is. I can't deal with that. And that's okay. And that's one thing that we have to recognize, because a lot of times we feel that they're rejecting us, but the reality is you're rejecting them. You don't fully love them for who they are. And society will tell you, well, it's because it's wrong that they're cheating. They're right or wrong is what? Based on who? It's either you agree with it or not. And that's okay to let go of that, because here's the thing. The character that you love about that one person, a lot of people have. It's real. It's because, Eddie, you don't know. This is how she makes me feel. Well, yeah, there's plenty of people that could do that. So what? But can she be the all-around that you want? That's why you don't settle. If not, I'd rather be alone. And that's real. Why? Because I don't want to reject somebody. So why would I put myself in that situation? And that's one thing we got to catch on, because the reality we're putting ourselves in that situation is because we don't appreciate ourselves. And that's why we look for a relationship. There's nothing wrong with looking with the relationship, but you want to be complete with yourself. And then include somebody. Like, you know what? My life's dope, yo. It's beautiful. I love being single. I love my freedom. But she really does add on to my happiness. I could literally see her cool with me. And it's like friendship. Like us dudes, we do it right. We do it right. Because obviously there's no sex involved. Right. It's cool. I just like hanging out with James because it's cool. That's my dude. Straight up, he hits me up. And he hits me up when he hits me up. Man, I ain't worried. He hits me. I see him. Once a year. And I'm not like, James, where have you been all this time? Yo, what's up, God? That's what it is. But that's how you should have your woman. It has to be that easy. It has to flow. You got to pick somebody that flows, because if not, then what's the point?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just find that joke funny.
You know, it is. It is funny.
Sex and mall.
Yeah. Like,
shit.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
So look, it was about the relationship. Like,
Right.
So do you think you could like love someone for who they are in a relationship, but simultaneously, right, you're trying to better each other and change for each other? Do you think those can like overlap at the same time?
No, without a doubt. I think all of that can happen. Yeah. Yeah, no, without a doubt. Anybody could change at any given time. It's, one thing that James said right now, when he was saying fake it till you make it, we're all performers, God. You're a performer. At the end of the day, you could wake up tomorrow, God, and tell me I'm a lawyer now, and start going to school for it, do whatever you do, start practicing, be a lawyer. You could be whoever but you have to be it. You have to say, this is what I'm going to be. This is the thing about free will, is you literally could be a carpet, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And again, that's the challenge, right? Because they try to tell us you can't. Like, nah. Yeah, because I get that question all the time. Well, what do you think about the times right now? I go, the times right now are like the times have always been. People are going to do what people are going to do. They're going to be who they're going to be. But everybody, they got more freedom to choose. You're always going to have the right to choose, bro. You're going to do what you're going to do. So with what you're saying is right. It's most definitely right. When when me and Marley were going through challenges, because just like relationships happen, there is challenges. Remember, I was in a depressed state. I was going through my shit. I mean, dude, I got my face tattoos, bro. It probably gives you a little something, right? So nothing wrong with it, but there's some type of cutting. But what do? Yeah, there were certain things that she would do. I can't believe she would do this. But then I'm like, well, why is it really affecting me? Who am I? I need to start bettering myself. So what happened, instead of continue arguing, I would do this. Again, we're married. We have kids. It's not that we separated. I'm going to go to my room while you go kick it in your living room. But instead of complaining about how you treated me, I'm going to open up a book and study. Wait a minute, I'm having problems in a relationship. Maybe I should pick up a book on how to better relationships. Oh, The Way of a Supreme Being. I can't remember the author's name. Good book. I'll send that to y'all. But yeah, is to actually better yourself, because you can't better anybody else. You could only better you. But once I started bettering me, it was crazy, because the God gets tested. Oh, man, y'all gonna put me on this one. All women want to be with God. Every woman wants to be with God, as they should too. So women are gonna test your God. How you gonna prove you're God if you're not gonna get tested? You know, how you gonna prove you're a power lifter if you don't pick up some heavy ass weight? You gotta prove you're God. So here we go. This is what I mean that all women want to be with God. Y'all know this. So I tell Diego, you right here, God. I gotta start including you in here. Yo, Diego. Yo, guy, you want to go to a movie? I'm going to go watch this. What's on right now that's dope? We got to go see a movie.
Deadpool.
Dev, you want to go hit that Deadpool? Yeah, run it down. You see that? Yeah. All right, cool. Male logic. Your girl. Y'all going to laugh at this. Because I think all of us can relate to this. So your girl, right? Based on what emotion she's going through, whether it's a time of the month, or she had an argument with her family, or a tough day at work, or what, you know? And I'm like, you know, I'm going to say, Marley, yo, Marley, you want to go see a movie? No, not really. And that not really doesn't mean not really. It means I want to go, but I'm going through some challenges. Are you sure, baby? It'll be fun. No, probably not. Oh, come on. We get some popcorn. You know, we get some of those Slurpees. You know, baby, come on, girl. You know, afterwards, I'm gonna give you a little rub. You know what I'm saying, girl? You think I'm sad. You know, all of a sudden she's like, all right, let's go to a movie. Y'all know this. They're an emotional being. We're logical beings. We run on logic. The reason your spirit decided to be in this body, because we chose this. Once again, we're spiritual beings. You chose your body. You chose your family. This already happened. You chose this body because you wanted to learn emotions. And the only way you're going to learn emotions is to be in a body of logic. You can't learn an emotion if you're trying to learn it. You're trying to figure out the emotion. Maybe I'm not going to go into past lifetimes because that's an older story. But anyway, so you decide to be a male. You come into this male to learn from the female. That's your this is, everybody's like, is there soulmates? Yeah, but a lot of times it doesn't mean a soulmate that you're going to marry. There'll be plenty of soulmates. Meaning, women are emotional teachers. Women are emotional teachers. We're the logical teacher. So what did I just teach this girl? Logic. Logically, you want to go. So get your emotions right so you don't miss out on this good time. Because logically you want to be, but right now you're emotionally all jacked up.
The problem with me, I'd be like, she's like, I'm like, all right. We're not going.
Exactly.
We're not going.
No, logical being. Yeah, me too. Right. Yo, I get that. That's where I was. Like, all right, cool. Logical beings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But what happens because of that? We both don't get to have a good time that night. Yeah. It's all right, cool. But yeah, but she's looking for God, so she stays in her funk. You were kind of like, damn, now I miss Deadpool.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into some more shit calling James and asking him if he wants to go, because then you know what's going to happen after that.
All right.
So you took James to the movie? Like,
you didn't want to go.
Literally, that's the conversation.
I just didn't want to go right now. Didn't mean I didn't want to go. You see what I'm saying? You see, I did want to go. I just wasn't in the mood for it right now.
Then why didn't you tell me that? Well, you're supposed to. Why do I have to tell you all these things? You should know.
Again, failed the test of being God. Yeah. So there's that point. Another point could be as simple as this. You've been working all day, man. Sales. You've been at the car lot. You ain't getting cash. You just been working all day. Say you got a seed at home. You got a baby. You got your wifeys. And just working. And then all of a sudden, you saw the entire car lot, God. You're just like, what is going on? I'm hitting every single car. Man, you just did a commission of $1 million. Get home. Chest in the air. Man. Ooh, jeez. Million. That's right. Get home. Hey, baby, guess what? I know I've been not here all day. I've been busy at work. I know I haven't spent time with you and the kids. But it's all worth it now. Check it out. I made $1 million. And she's like, well, yeah, I know you haven't spent time with us. I even asked you to get a gallon of milk. You couldn't even do that. You know, we just been here. I had to figure it out for the baby, for the milk. But you just been at work all day. And you're just like, did you not just hear I made $1 million? Like, I'll go buy you a farm of cows. I didn't ask for a farm of cows. I asked for a gallon of milk, and you didn't bring it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what? Like, what's wrong with this girl, yo? Like, yo, seriously, I'm busting my ass for this family. But she ain't your mama, bro. Like, guess what? That mama love, you ain't never gonna get it again. So that's why make sure you visit your mamas. If your mamas is still around, my mom is in the celestial, and I still talk to her quite a bit. But you're never gonna get your mama again. If you ever think you're gonna get her, oh baby, yay! Nah, that ain't gonna happen like that again. So be ready for that one. Mamas are always gonna treat you straight up with that true feminine nurturing. Not saying a woman won't come close, but there's a difference. So how do we correct this? This is what we should have done. Again, they're testing your God. What would have God done in this situation? Again, she says, yeah, you know, I would have, you know, I didn't ask for, or, you know, you didn't bring home the milk, you know, like I asked you to. What we should have said was like, you know what, baby, you're right. I never even thought about it. I've been here so busy thinking that I'm supposed to be providing, and in reality, I've just been leaving you here with this child doing everything. I'm stuck on my own ambitions, what I thought was good for the household. You're right, I'm sorry. I go, but you know what? It is a new start. Will you forgive me? And maybe let's all go out and have a dinner. And then afterwards, I'll get you that gallon of milk.
Yeah.
Case solved. Case solved. Women, test your God. So be God. Perform God. It's very simple. How would your God act in each situation? How would your higher self act in each situation? That's real. So that's the one thing I always tell everybody. Knowledge without action is useless knowledge. So if anything that anybody got, if there's anything that anybody got out of this convo tonight, is perform God. How would God perform in traffic? How would God perform in the workforce? How would your own personal God be running late?
And my question to you is how do we make sure and keep ourselves in that God mentality, that God mindset?
I love that question. Here we go. Because, yeah, we do definitely need these type of exercises. Prayer, meditation. You have to start visualization. I know y'all are visual. I know y'all are visual, man. I know this didn't come out of, like, randomness. It literally came out of your creative mind, and you visualized this. You visualized me. You've been waiting for me to show up. You didn't know my name. But you visualize this conversation. Like, oh, this is going to be dope. I've been waiting for this conversation. Yeah. Visualization, but you got to practice it. I am so on church today. Yo, we in the church. No wonder we're to love one another. When it said, have you ever heard at church they say you got to give 10% to God? You ever hear that? Y'all ever do that church thing? They say give 10% to God. All right. So God, right? This God, this being, this divine nature, this mother, this father of trees, plants, mountains, did not create money. Money was created through us. So we're the gods of money. So when you're giving 10% to God, what are you supposed to do? Give money? Nothing wrong with charity. I ain't tripping about charity. I'm not saying, nah, don't help people out. Yeah, most definitely. But you're talking about giving 10% to God. So I'll tell you like this. I'm a parent. So if my son just shows up and gives me 10% of his paycheck every month, that ain't gonna make me happy, bro. If I see him worried, if I see him depressed, if I see him arguing with his girl, I could care less about that 10. What do I want 10% for, bro? Like, okay. Oh, yes, Dad, it's $200. My life sucks. How is that giving 10% to me? So if this God is my parent, how is giving money to God satisfying God when I'm not happy with myself? So how would you give to your parents? How do you make your parents proud? How would I make my great parent proud? Is giving time to God. If my son came with his problems and we worked on it, that's giving me 10%. So there's 24 hours in a day. That means 2 hours and 40 minutes a day to God. What's that? Prayer, meditation, study, exercise, physical exercise. Exercise comes from the word exorcism. When you're working out, you're removing toxins. You're sweating your demons out. Exercise. Meditation. What is meditation? What did I tell you? You sit still. Any thought that comes, you bless it. Prayer. Thankful for what's going on. Here we go. An hour of prayer and meditation. And if that's too much, start with 20 minutes, whatever. You figure out your 2 hours and a half. Prayer, meditation, study, workout. Try it. Give 2 hours and 40 minutes to God a day. Watch your life change. Don't believe me. I'm not on this belief stuff. I'm not. So don't believe me. And God said, and this is the promised land. I'm none of that. I'm telling you, put it to the facts. You could either say, yo, G, you full of it? Oh man, that was right on point. Thank you for that. Thank you for that gem. 2 hours and 40 minutes. Because what happens when you're studying the right things? You're thinking the right thoughts. You read Jay Shetty. How did you feel? Oh, wow. Yeah. You guys, I'm pretty sure I've read a good book, heard a good podcast. This is why you do podcasts. This is why you're doing podcasts. It's enlightenment. Get that in. Study. People always tell me this too. They're like, it's 'cause I don't like studying. I go, you're full of it. Everybody likes to study. They go, no, you don't. I go, what do you think you do all day? You're studying all day. Just depends what you study.
Yeah.
You're watching Instagram and Facebook on stuff that's just annoying you. So you're studying to be annoyed? Or are you studying to be grateful? What are you studying? But you're going to study all day. You cannot not study. Just like you can't pray, you cannot not pray. Every thought is a prayer. So who are you praying to? Worry or happiness? Mm-hmm. Or as they say, God or devil. What are you praying to? So these are the things that we naturally do. So start making it intentional for your favor. Because no matter what, you're going to study. No matter what, you're going to pray. So make sure it's going to the right direction. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, 2 hours and 40 minutes becomes 24 hours a day. Heaven? Oh, yeah, I'll take that.
Well, man, that was beautiful. That's man. Eddie.
Yo.
Eddie.
Jesus.
Eddie Jesus.
Eddie Jesus, because God's us. No doubt. Check me out on Instagram. I'll give you a little piece of what I'm doing. Is I still do my personal training Monday through Wednesday. I go by appointment. And I only charge $200 for 4 weeks of training, which includes nutrition plan. And I picked that number because 2 means wisdom. 3 is understanding. So there's 3 numbers. And not only that, investing in yourself is good. Because if you don't spend the 50 over here, you're going to spend the 50 somewhere else. Again, where you're spending is where it's at. Now, I get it. If you cannot afford that, talk to me. This ain't about money. It's about purpose. I've already been blessed, and that's why I'm able to charge low. I do an H-Law hour. H-Law is health, love, awareness, and wealth at 2 p.m. Monday through Wednesday, and that's free. We do breath work. We do meditation. We do exercises to better yourself. We do study. And then Saturday at 10 a.m., come to the church. We've been talking church. So come to the church, 10 a.m., same spot. And we're doing the same thing. We're doing study, breath work, meditation. We got some yoga. Yoga means one with God, but what you're doing is you're just exercising to releasing all that stress. Counseling. I gave my number out, 915-412-3091. There's no charge for none of that. As a matter of fact, I get paid by God. That's real. And that's another thing before we close out that I do want to speak on really quick, 2 seconds in it. Well, more than 2 seconds, 2 minutes. Is this. There is a law of giving and receiving, and you can't break law. You can't break law. I got to give this real quick. Can I give this real quick? All right, we got to give this real quick. You can't break law. You cannot be an outlaw. It's impossible. Meaning, even if we learn how to levitate, you still have to come down. Law of gravity, you can't break it. You have to come down. So there is spiritual laws. There is spiritual laws. Laws of action and reaction, right? Every action will have a reaction. You can't break it. The law of giving and receiving. This is a law of nature that's real. In order to receive, you got to give. When you give, you have to receive. Law of giving and receiving. This right here, man. I'm throwing millions right here on this one. When you breathe in oxygen, you have to give out carbon. Oxygen is life. Like true wealth is oxygen. You could go some days without water. You could go days without food. But oxygen, you need it now. That's our life source. But in order to get it, what do you got to give back? Carbon. You can't just take in oxygen. You just can't take. That law does not exist in nature. You just can't take. All right, that's enough right there. You see what I'm saying? Like, I got to breathe out, so you got to give carbon. So that means this law of giving and receiving is real. You want a chest, you got to do push-ups. You want a plant to grow, you got to give water. But it comes tenfold. So with that said, when you give, I got to give this one now. When you give, expect to receive. I hear a lot of people say, no, I don't want nothing back. No. Expect to receive. Not from the person you gave to. Because that will let you down if you're doing that. And that's just for the wrong reason. Expect for nature to give back. That's one experiment that I want everybody to try. I got to give this right here. I ain't going to put no names, but I had this one dude that I was working with that told me, Jesus, I am a klepto, bro. He goes, I can't stop stealing. I go, that's all good. I go, that's godly. And he goes, how's stealing godly? I go, you like the high, don't you? He goes, yeah, man, it's the fear of not getting caught, but then you get away with it and you get this rush. I go, that's ecstasy, so that's God. The thing is, you're getting God on a wrongful action, which is causing harm and it's making you feel guilty afterwards. So you're not keeping the God source. But what you're doing, the energy, the actual high off it is godly. I go, so let's figure something out so you could keep that God energy and prosper while helping others prosper. And he goes, well, what do you mean by that? I go, so you steal and you steal big things because the bigger the theft, the bigger the risk, the bigger the glory, right? He goes, yeah. I go, okay. I go, do you get a, he's all like, I'm military. I go, you military? I go, all right. So you get a monthly check. You get it on the 15th, right? He goes, yeah. I go, I want you to give it away. He goes, what do you mean? That's how I feed myself. I feed my, feed the fam. I go, the law of giving and receiving. I want you to give away your check and see if you survive. Give it to people. This dude did it, man. He did it, and he came back, and he was so joyful. He goes, bro, you wouldn't believe it. I started giving my money out to people, and at first they were just kind of looking at me like, what do I want back? And then they realized I didn't want back. People started bringing me groceries. People started just giving me items that paid the bills. He goes, bro, it's crazy. I actually feel like I was making more money without making money by giving it away. It goes the law of giving and receiving. The ones who feed others never starve. You're feeding others, you can't possibly starve. Everybody's relying on you. Pay attention to that. But the only way to see it is to expect it because it's already in our hearts. We're givers. The only reason we don't give is we're scared that we're not going to have. You got to change that thought. Start giving and expect. Not from the person you gave, but from the actual law of nature. Put it to the test.
It's crazy, man.
Man.
Shout out Eddie, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you for stopping by.
Yo,
man.
I appreciate you. Bro. I appreciate y'all.
Long overdue, man.
It was beautiful. What a wonderful, wonderful way to just kick it, yo. I mean, I'm proud of y'all. I love what y'all doing. Like, literally, this is what we do, is we get to hang out and people get to hear about it. Yo, that's dope, man. Thank you, everybody who was listening that was kicking it with us. Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Episode 45.
You better stop. I told you the symbolism of everything falling was the rebirth, because the first time y'all ever did an episode, everything fell. That was the start. This is the start. Whoa. The 45 means birth. Okay, so I got to give y'all one more. There's 9 months for a baby to be born. 9 months for a baby to be born. 9 gives birth to each number. 9 times 1, 9. 9 times 2, 18. 8 plus 1, 9. 9 times 3, 27. 2 plus 7 is 9. 9 times 4, 36. 9. 9 to 9 is always going to give birth to itself. When you see 9s, it means rebirth. 45. 4 means culture. 5 means powers. The culture of power reborn right here, right now. Yeah, that'll be another episode. I'll start talking
right here, right
mathematics. Now. You already know.
On the MVP Live,
Eddie, man. Good love, yo.
That was it, man.
Yo.